working a previous job and had money, so that was a good time. Oh, it looks like it's about time that.
Energy.
Color timer.
Diminishing rapidly.
Your show and tell timer is up. It's time to move on to your news.
There he goes.
It's gorgeous, dude.
Put back in the position here.
I love the eyes too.
Yeah.
He'll shut up in a minute. Yeah, no, it's amazing. You know, it's just that color timer just kind of made it all.
Yeah.
It's like that, to give me that. So, yeah, it's good. I think he makes them once in a while, and if you keep an eye on eBay, you might see one now and then. And I think after this one, and I couldn't afford any more, but he did Spectre-Man, and he did Goldar.
Oh, neat.
So, you know, someday if he's like not able to sell those and he's offering them cheap, then maybe I'll get those too. But see, I'm hoping he stops soon. And then I'll talk about Godzilla Fest.
If the warning light stops completely, it will mean Ultraman will never rise again.
Right. Here he comes. So, anyways,
tell me about your next. What's going on in San Francisco in the Bay Area?
Yes, we are doing Godzilla Fest. We actually did one in May because that's when the Balboa Theater in San Francisco reopened to the public. It had been closed for almost a year. There we go. It had been closed for almost a year. And so Adam, who owns the theater, he says, hey, we're going to open in May, and we want to do Godzilla Fest. I'm like, okay. But let's also do Godzilla Fest at our regular time, which is usually in August. Mm-hmm. And so he one-upped me and said, all right, well, let's do 2 weekends then. So we've got 2 weekends back-to-back at Godzilla Fest, first weekend being the 20th through the 22nd, and we call that King Kong Crashes Godzilla Fest.
Yes!
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 Yes! And I'll tell you why, because there is a reason that Leslie should come down. So I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
We're going to show basically all the Kong movies. There you got the list there.
Oh, wow.
All the Kong movies except for, and you're going to thank me for this later, King Kong Lives.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo! Thank you.
And we're going to show, you know, basically all the
King Kong's baby is upset with you.
But no, we're going to show, you know, King Kong 1933, 76, which I'm actually really excited to see again on the big screen. So
ooh.
Also 2005, sorry. And we're also showing Skull Island, and we're showing Godzilla versus Kong, and King Kong versus Godzilla, and King Kong Escapes.
Whoa! Yes!
And the best for that weekend is Linda Miller.
Woo!
Also,
what a sweetheart she is.
Oh, yeah, no, she's really nice. And she's also in The Green Slime. So we are going to show The Green Slime as well.
Green Slime!
Pretty rare on the big screen, as far as I know.
Nice.
And as far as Godzilla, we'll still have Godzilla. We got some Showa films sprinkled in there. You can probably see on the list. And we also have a lot of the Heisei films. So we're going to show that then. And then the second weekend, which we're also very excited about, and I'm pulling up the list here. There we go. We have Legendary Godzilla Fest. So we're definitely going to show all the legendary movies. 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong again, Kong Skull Island. And we're going to have basically the Millennium films and a sprinkling of Showa. But the reason we're doing that is because our special guest that weekend is going to be TJ Storm.
Awesome.
Who was the motion capture actor who played Godzilla in the legendary films. So he's going to be there. He kind of showed up at our last show with Michael Dougherty.
Okay.
And, he's kind of showed up and was hanging out in the lobby and, you know, basically treating everybody like they were his best friend and signing autographs and taking pictures and everything else. This time he'll be here as an official guest. So we get
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we've got some
just to echo what Bob's saying, I was at the Godzilla Fest in 2019 where Dougherty was there and TJ Storm came up, and TJ was great, dude. Like, and I've seen him at several conventions and seen him at lots of different events, and The dude's energy level is off the charts every time in the best possible way. He is so friendly. I hope that he actually gets to come to G-Fest at some point, because I think people would lose their mind just to meet him.
Yeah.
You know, he's so great. Anyway, a great guest choice, Bob. Great.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we have a Godzilla Fest T-shirt that we are only going to be selling at the 2 shows. So that's exciting. It's got a design on it by Gaz Gretzky, one of our artists. And now that Ultraman shut up, I'll take him off the screen. There we go. But yeah,
extreme zoom on Bob.
That's right. Listen to I need my close-up. There you go. That's not as bad. Yeah, we're going to have a T-shirt, which is amazing design by Gaz Gretzky. Only available at the shows. We cannot sell this online. We cannot sell this in any other way except at the shows. So I'll send Kyle a picture of it so he can put it up, and people can see what they can get or what they're missing out on if they don't come to the show. But also another reason for Leslie to coming out is we've got Kong's Cave of Collectibles as one of our vendors. That's Kevin D'Antonio. Doing 10 custom painted 1967 Kongs. Because they're going to sell out like fast. So,
you know what?
He's doing, but yeah, he's only painting like 10 of these, and I saw them. They're like almost like a copper color, like a dirty penny, but they look amazing. The paint job is amazing.
Cool.
So maybe I can send pictures like after the fact.
Please, because that Kong gets a bad rap for some reason. I get it. He looks a little bit goofy, but we got the 67 Godzilla. We got the 98 Godzilla, so you can't talk about Kong like that. You know what I'm saying?
Kong's going to be cool. And then, if you buy a full weekend pass, we've got a lanyard for each show. We also have buttons we'll be giving out. And we do, like I said, we have the vendors. We've got Kong's Cave of Collectibles. We've got Vinyl Kaiju Legion. James Osborne will be out there. And then we've got artists like Gaz Gretzky and Lenny Romero and Nick Shev and Nick Pino and Larry Quatch. So we've got
quality people.
Many things.
That sounds great. Great artists.
I will show some, some kind of short subjects and things, and play some soundtrack music between the films, and just have a blast. It'll be a blast of a weekend. Now, San Francisco, they just put into law that you can only go into a public building if you are vaccinated. So get your shots if you want to come out to this thing, or you're going to have something saying that you've got some pre-existing condition that you can't get the shot. But I don't know how. That's all the theater. So I'm not going to be checking. I'm not going to be looking. I'm not going to be kicking you out. It's all up to the theater. But I don't know how they're going to be checking. But that's just a heads up. But it's going to be a safe environment because, like I say, everyone's got to be vaccinated. We'll all be masking up. So should be a good event, a nice, safe event, and family friendly.
That's great.
Right on, man. Well, dude, Bob, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this awesome event. If people want to check it out, make sure to go to Bay Area Film Events, and I'll have links in the show notes to those pages that I was just scrolling through for each of the individual.
Oh, and if I can say one more thing, if people want to hear from Linda Miller, can't make it out to the show. Linda and I are going to be doing Thoughtline on a local radio station, KFJC, Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can stream that on kfjc.org, and they have a netcast, so you can hear Linda talking and me talking, and we were going to have TJ on, but he's in Budapest right now, and he's coming back just before our show, so wasn't going to be able to call in at 4 a.m. from Budapest, but we'll have Linda and myself and Rob Emmett, the host, and we're going to be playing Godzilla music and commercials and talking to Linda, and it should be a blast for an hour.
So, real quick, Bob's Godzilla Fests are awesome. I went to one in 2004, was it, Bob?
Yeah, that was our 50th anniversary.
So,
Godzilla.
this
Kyle did
was-
something up north, and LA did something.
It was an amazing experience. So if you guys live in the Bay Area or can get down there, it's just so much fun. You see so many fans. It's kind of like a G-Fest family vibe that you feel when you go to these things. So please check it out. I wish I could go to this one, but there's no way I can make it down there. But check it out. It's good stuff.
Hey, plane tickets are cheap these days.
It's true, they are. Yeah, they are. That's true.
Down here for $50.
Amazing.
That's true.
But we
Good-
have these
good point.
every year.
Good
So
point.
if you can't make this year, we'll have another one next year. And who knows? It could be bigger and better, and we've got all these awesome plans. So
It kind of sounds like you're already making things bigger and better, man. You're like 2 weekends, like right in a row, special guests. I mean, the 50th anniversary thing is its own
3 live
monster.
Godzilla shows in 1 year.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So and then just quick plug. Check me out on the Planet 8 podcast with Larry Kakos and Karen Walker. And we don't do a lot of Godzilla, but we cover a lot of different things. In fact, we're recording an episode tomorrow on Hitchcock movies. So
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
get off here, I got to go back and watch more Hitchcock. So
Right on. That's cool, dude. I actually, sidebar, just watched a whole bunch of Hitchcock movies for the first time. I'll have to talk about that offline.
there's not a bad one in the bunch, I tell you.
Right on. Well, Bob, thank you again, and we will be in touch. And go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, sir.
You got it. I think I got a dog walk to do, and then back to Hitchcock.
All right.
All right. Thanks again.
Take care, Bob.
Take
See ya,
care.
dude.
See you.
Thank you.
Watch out for the birds or vertigo.
Yeah.
Don't get vertigo while you're out on the walk. Anyway, a little Hitchcock humor for you. Terrible Hitchcock humor. Let me rearrange our windows here. And hey, before we get into our news, our full news, since Bob's off now, let's do some quick shout outs to people who are in the chat and watching live. Leslie, you got me back right now, or do you need me to kick things off first?
I'm cool. I got you.
You got it.
All right.
You got it.
All right. Kaiju-tastic Media. Eric Stolt. What's going on, Eric? Tim Alton. Helmy, what's going on?
What's up,
Hey, tell me.
Liam Foley, Varzilla, Kaiju Battle, of course, Godzilla Train 1090, Larry Latham, John Parkinson, Greg Coggin, Kaiju Live. What's up, AJ? What's going on? Niagara Korax. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I really am. Alex Sawyer, Keith Daniels. You better have, David. John Parkinson. My beautiful better half is in the chat. What's up, Sandra? What's going on? Just lots of people. Again, Eric NorCal. Lolo's in the chat. What's going on, Lolo?
What's up, Lolo?
I don't know.
Yeah. Peter Santa
Man, it's been
Maria.
too long since I've chatted with Lolo.
What's up,
Yeah.
Pete?
Yeah.
Nick Sides.
Nick Sides, Voodoo Powder. Just lots of people in the chat. Thank you so
I
much
see
for checking out
Butch-
Collectible Monsters.
Which is in there too.
What's up,
Cool.
Butch?
Hello.
Lauren.
Okay.
Lauren. What's up,
All
buddy?
right. What's going
Prime
on?
Eagles 33 is what he's labeled as there.
All right.
Yeah, so we've got 44 people watching live. Thank you guys for watching us this Saturday afternoon for episode 19 of Collectible Monsters. We have so much show. I'm actually surprised we're only at 36 minutes. For those who have showed up late, didn't catch the beginning, unfortunately, Christine is not feeling well, so she's unable to be with us here today. But we're going to forge on and continue this insane asylum with our next segment that we always do. Always
Hi,
have
Keith.
this segment. That is our news. It's the news of Kaiju Collectibles, and I never get tired of that little
I love
that
it.
little
The
jingle.
That little jingle.
That little jingle's fun. Speaking of fun, I know Mr. Leslie Chambers has some fun, cool stuff to share with us for his news, so I'm going to pass it over to my man.
This is Eric Carter with the news. I had to do that. Want to breeze through some X Plus news real quick. Of course, if you got a lot of these pre-orders, just want to let you know that there are some that have came out in the past couple of weeks and some that are coming. Of course, the Death for Real Mecha Godzilla 75 came out last month, the standard. The Rick just came out, I want to say, a week ago. Of course, the Gigantic 54, the new favorite sculptors line Gigantic 54 has dropped in the past couple of weeks, both standard and Rick. The Mothra 92s are on their way and have been released to some collectors as we speak. There have been some early pictures of the Death of Real Biollante. She should be coming up real soon, so be on the lookout for that. And don't forget, the Rodan 25 centimeter 2019 figure is supposedly dropping at the end of this month too, in August. So just be on the lookout for that. But recently, just a couple of days ago, X Plus did have a great summer kaiju online event where they showcased a few stuff. And what a lot of collectors have been saying for the past 2 or 3 months is, why haven't we seen any Godzilla vs. Kong stuff from X Plus? We've seen it from Playmates, we've seen it from Prime One, we've seen it from a lot of different companies, but X Plus was like the one major company that was kind of going silent about that. But they broke the news that they are doing some merchandise from Godzilla vs. Kong. They're doing a couple of Death for Reals, one of Kong himself, and one of Godzilla, which looks awesome. They're also doing a 20. Yes, there it is, the Death for Real Godzilla 2021, which looks awesome. Once again, like I said, they're doing Kong 2. Oh, right. Yeah, there he is right there. Kong with the axe. So you know that's going to be awesome. They're also doing both Godzilla and Kong in the 25 centimeter scale. A lot of people were wondering if that's a 30 centimeter scale, but it's not. That Japanese text above Kong's name, that's actually the Toho Large Monster Series scale, 25 centimeter scale. And as you can see here, Kong is holding his axe. And now we're getting a new 25 centimeter Godzilla 2021. And as you can see, the sculpt is drastically different from the 2019 sculpt. So that is awesome. And also, if you scroll all the way up or scroll down, Kyle, it says right there, and more. So that means that there's possibly more stuff coming. And we've seen Godzilla, we've seen Kong, but there was one other major monster that did make an appearance in that film. So
Warback confirmed.
Or so will we see a 25 centimeter Mecha Godzilla 21? Will we see a Gigantic Kong 2021? Will they reissue Godzilla in the Gigantic Series 2021? There's so many possibilities that they can do, but apparently they're not done yet. So it's going to be really interesting to see what may come out next from this movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, courtesy of X Plus. Not only that, they're doing some stuff from Singular Point. They showcased the Death for Real Godzilla Ultima from Singular Point.
Oh, I have to say, I know you guys love the Death for Real line, but when I saw the image right here, I didn't realize that it was Death for Real at first, so I thought it was like the full sculpt. Yeah. And then I clicked it, and I'm like, oh, it's the kid's toy.
I love it.
You weren't the only one. Because when people pulled up the Godzilla Death for Real, they thought it was going to be like a 30. But then when they pulled the rest of the body and saw it was squished, they was like, nah. I get it. The Death for Reals are an acquired taste. Not everybody's going to get them. The appeal of them, some people just flat out hate them or whatever. But I think certain ones look awesome, look great. And even though I have not seen Singular Point just yet, I do know Godzilla Ultima is in the show, at least one of his forms in the show. I am tempted to buy this. So, but they're also doing stuff from Shin Ultraman, which we don't know exactly what they're doing just yet. But they announced that they will be doing stuff from Shin Ultraman. So even though X Plus has been silent for a while, they're coming out swinging with some products. And last but not least, the next Ultra Warrior to make his way into the Gigantic Series behind Ultraman. Was it Ace was the last one, I think? We got Ultraman Taro. He's the next Gigantic Series Ultra Warrior coming in the Gigantic Series. And so that's pretty much it with our X Plus news. Once again, they're going to be announcing more Godzilla vs. Kong stuff, but we have to wait and see in the next couple of days what that will be. But I'm looking forward to it. And that's all I have to say in my news segment.
Excellent.
Yes. All right, I think that means David's up.
Oh yes. So, you guys know that there's a lot of cool stuff coming out from Mondo, and all of this stuff is pretty awesome. And I want pretty much everything that's coming out, but there's one specific piece that I want most of all.
Oh, and right. Hey David, let me pass this to you. Remember,
Oh, right. I
I
was wondering,
literally saw my note on the side
I
of
was
the
I was
monitor
wondering
like an
if you
idiot.
had switched it up at the last minute, so I just kind of went with it. But no
I
big
got
deal.
confused.
All right, let's take two.
Let's do the
Kyle.
time warp.
Yeah, let's do it. Take two.
Wow, Leslie, that was great information. I can't wait to hear more about that X Plus Summer Kaiju event. Man, woo! I tell you. Anyway,
Live TV.
Oh,
people,
God.
Live TV. Gotta love
you
it.
know, it's the best part about it is it's all fine. It's all fine and good. So
Okay.
there's when we're talking about news, there's too much to cover. In fact, last month we didn't even really do news. So what we're doing this time is a little bit different than what we're used to doing. And so I am going to have kind of two news items, I guess you could say. I'll breeze through them super fast. But as many people know, Mondo has been producing many things that many
Yes, they
people
have.
want, just like David said. Oh, I'm so mad at myself for forgetting that earlier. But they are about to drop a brand new series of statues, and that is starting with the animated 1970s Godzilla, which looks, of course, like Godzilla from Hanna-Barbera's cartoon. This stands 8.25 inches tall with a 5-inch base. He's got a belly. anyway, I don't know. I'm just spitballing as I cycle through these. The most important image here is at the end. His price tag is $120, and actually he goes on sale, like pre-orders open for this guy on the 17th. And I want to make sure to say that this is the first statue in a series of statues. And while this is great, and make sure to set your alarm if you want this, that $120 price tag is basically sort of like the price tag of this series that they're doing. And they're going to be releasing them periodically. And I have to say, for anyone who was very upset that they were not able to get the San Diego Comic-Con at home exclusive limited to 150 pieces Godzilla or Hedorah, and I know a lot of people were upset about that. I have been told by Mondo they don't have like they don't make their edition numbers public, but it's not the 100. It's way more than that. It's plus. So I don't think people are going to have as much of a problem pre-ordering this. It'll be much more like the Mothra statue, if you guys remember that.
Yes, which I got.
Anyway. So thank you guys for your patience. Again, sorry for my flub. And now, please let me hand things off to my good man David, so he can tell us about the second statue in this series.
So
I think I nailed it.
You nailed it. You totally nailed it. So yes, Kyle, the second statue is the one that I was about to talk about, the one that I want the most out of all the cool stuff that's coming from Mondo in the future. And it is representation of Peter Santamaria's awesome artwork in a figure form. And it's just beyond cool. It's like it blurs the line between fine art, a collectible, pop culture, fan culture, all of the above. And I figured, you know what would be better than getting the deal, getting the scoop from the horse's mouth himself, and that horse being Attack Peter, aka Peter Santamaria. So let's see what we talked about, Kyle, if you've got that ready to go. Hey there, everybody. It's your pal David, and this is going to be my news segment for our August show. And instead of just, talking about stuff, I figured I'll get the real deal right from the horse's mouth. The horse, in this case, being Mr. Peter Santamaria, aka Attack Peter. What's up, Peter? How's it going?
What's up, David? Thanks for having me, man. I love doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you were able to do this for us, because the news item that I'm going to talk about is something that I'm really, really, really stoked about. And of course, it's going to be your upcoming Godzilla Museum small scale statue series. That's a mouthful. Got it. So let's just jump into some questions that I have, and I'm sure some of our viewers have too. So what was the origin of this endeavor? In other words, whose idea was it to sort of translate your awesome artwork into a three-dimensional figure?
The funny thing is that I had, if you remember, if anybody remembers, March 2020 or April 2020, we released, Mondo released 3 prints for 3 Godzilla films: Godzilla vs. Mothra, like the one on your shirt,
Yes.
Godzilla versus the Smog Monster with Hidra, and Ibira, the Horror of the Deep. So those 3 posters I did, and when those 3 came out, it blew up. Everybody got super excited. A bunch of new people discovered my work. And, luckily the print sold out in seconds. And so I went on Instagram Live shortly after to talk about it and to kind of celebrate the quick sellout and all that. Because for me, up to that point, I had never released something that had sold out so quickly and in such high volume. On this Instagram Live, one of the folks from Mondo joined in. I want to say it was Hector himself or Eric Garza, or I forget who exactly, but somebody had joined the stream, the Instagram live stream, and so I literally said out loud, like, guys, why don't you ask him if he'd do a figure? And then the Instagram lit up like, oh, figure. And then
I can imagine.
And then the email came immediately after, and it said, hey, that's a great idea. Let's talk about it. That's how it started. And
can you tell us who actually did the sculpting on this figure?
Yeah, I want to get his name. It's okay. So definitely the sculptors, at Mondo. The heads of toys at Mondo. So Hector, I'd say that and Mikey Bonanno. They worked on the sculpt. And there's another individual who I just met. I believe his name on Instagram for sure is Tufan Caesar. It's TUFAN space SEZER. I'll send you his profile,
please,
so that you can see it for yourself. I'm going to send you it out. So the 3 of them sculpted it, and I'm glad that we're pointing it out because, and then Hector's wife was Hector and his wife both worked on the paint of the sculpt of the figure. So it's a lot of people went into it. Yeah.
Can you tell us what the material is that it's going to be produced in? Resin, vinyl, or a combination of both? Yeah,
this is a vinyl figure. From day one, that was like a concern of mine. I'm like, hey, I'll do whatever you want, and if it's resin, that's fine too. But I really wanted it to be vinyl, and my only reasoning for that, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, I want it to fit among all my vinyl figures, And number 2, I want to be able to hold the thing, play with it, move it around, and not worry about it. That's the number 1 reason I love vinyl stuff, is that it's not so precious, at least in my house. Like when my friends come over with their kids, I let them grab anyone they want and touch it and play with it, and they do the whole thing. And maybe we lose paint here and there, but overall, it's fun. There's a lot of fun in it being a vinyl piece. Nothing against resin. I have a few resin pieces I love. It's just that I wanted it to be vinyl for that reason. Now, the base, I believe, is a resin base, and I'm either resin or PVC. I forget exactly. I think it's resin, but I could be wrong on that. And I know that there's a magnetic nameplate.
Oh, cool.
And there's an image that it's like a horizontal image they put out that has the 3 different angles and all the information. And I think if you zoom in on it, you can see, I think it says Attack Peter Godzilla, which is freaking cool. I didn't even realize that until after.
That's great. That's great. I can't wait to hold it in my hand. So,
I know.
Speaking of that, how big is it going to be?
Well, I think without the base, he's 7.5 inches.
Okay.
And then on the base, it's 8.25 inch. And so I thought that was interesting because I thought it was going to be smaller. And I know that's not the 9-inch size that like a lot of the Medicom stuff and Marmot, but I saw the video on the Mondo stream where Mikey and Hector were holding, or Mikey was holding it, and it looks so chunky and thick that I feel like it almost just makes up for that. It might be a little bit of a shorter guy. He feels like a chunky guy.
Cool. So 8 inches is about 20 centimeters, probably, right? Approximately. So that's like the size of a Kyoto vinyl Godzilla.
And I don't know if anybody noticed this, not to go away from that, but I made a request when they were sculpting it, and Hector jumped on it. Like, that's a great idea, that we put the holes in the neck. Did you notice that? So
I did not notice that, to make it really look like the suit. make it
yeah.
look
I
like
only
Nicodemus
regret.
breathing holes.
Yes, I only
Wow.
regret that we didn't put a zipper in the back, but it might have been tough at this size. But yeah, there are breathing holes.
Have. Now, I can't really specifically tell what Godzilla is represented. Is there one that you had in mind when you were creating this particular design, or is it sort of a conglomeration of all of your artwork? Because it's definitely Showa-esque. That much I do know. It's not a Heisei guy or a Millennium, but
Okay,
is there one in particular that you were going for?
For that I didn't want it to be based on anyone's suit, I should say, but
Okay.
I definitely took careful studies of the suits that I love and what I love of different suits. And but I will say that I first and foremost, I did want it to feel like it popped out of a print, but I didn't want it to feel like any one of the prints, because on the prints, I did take care to make them abstractions of the suit specifically.
Got it.
So, you know, even though it's my style is anything but, you know, exact, they are specifically based on it. So the figure, though, is not, because I wanted this to be the Attack Peter Godzilla, if I may be so bold. So yeah,
that's perfect, because as my art teacher would say, art is so subjective. Everybody's going to see something different in that Godzilla, and it's rightly so, because there are many different nuances in that particular Godzilla. Now, so when do you approximately? No one's going to hold you to this. When do you think we could expect this to be released?
Well, the official word is that whatever. I got in trouble for saying pre-orders recently, because not in trouble, but apparently there's like a nuance to saying pre-order. Like, I don't know what that means other than you pay in advance for something that's coming later. So that when I say pre-order, that's all I mean.
Okay.
So the official word from Mondo is that the pre-orders will go up this fall.
Okay,
and
sometime in the fall. That's
the pre-orders,
good enough. Yeah. That's all we need to know. So the fall, so people can get ready. And I don't know if you know the answer to this either. Will this be a limited figure, or will there be a quantity more than just a small amount? You may not know the answer to this yet.
Yeah, the word I'm getting is that Mondo's going to stop producing everything else except for this figure. In fact, that's it. Like the rest of the line's canceled.
Good.
All resources are being diverted to producing this. All the posters that people are planning to pre-order are going to be recycled.
They're all done
into a pulp, and they're going to make these out of that. Yeah.
You know what?
I think I definitely don't know if there's a exact number yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if the reaction didn't, influence some people to make sure it's widely available.
I hope that's true, because I know for a fact when it was teased, a few months ago or last month, that the excitement was definitely palpable, and myself included, because I just love the fact that this particular piece sort of like blends. It sort of like blends art with pop culture, with fan culture, and with the collecting world. So all of those things together make this figure something that a person like me, who appreciates all of that stuff, really needs to have in my collection. And but
you know what I said?
All seriousness, your piece is nothing like anything that I have either. So that's another thing that's unique. It's sort of like in between a model kit and a soft vinyl figure and a piece of art. So anyway, I don't want to keep you anymore. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this for my news segment. This is like the coolest news segment I've done in all the shows I've done so far. So thank you very much, Peter. And I really look forward to seeing what you do next. And I can't wait to hopefully have this figure in my hand, and then we'll have another conversation after that happens.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do a review, official review,
and you're officially invited back. So
perfect.
Take care, Peter.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
There you go. Nice work, David.
Well, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. I said a couple more things in between there. There was a couple of strange little cuts there, but maybe we can do the whole video.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our-
So, of course, strange little cuts. David, how
Yeah.
long was your conversation with Peter?
It was long.
45 minutes.
It was long.
So,
No,
so
it just
we have to cut everything down for the show anyway.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
going to be the full conversation absolutely will be available online on the YouTube channel. I probably am going to spend some time and actually gussy it up a little bit and put some cool graphics down
That would be
if possible.
fantastic.
But definitely that was a wonderful conversation you had with Peter.
I had a blast. I really did have a blast, and he's a great guy, and he's always willing to come on the show and talk about this stuff because he's a fan. He's just like us. He's a fan. He's a talented, uber talented fan who just happens to make awesome stuff. So thanks, Peter, for doing that. And like I said, I cannot wait to hold that figure in my hot little hands. So anyway, there it is.
All right. So I think, John, that means it's your turn to wow us with some cool kaiju news. And I already have your images loaded up here.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. And so this is for the collector that likes the obscure things sometimes, I think. What's coming out is pretty neat. It's a Godzilla roaring karuta, which is old Japanese card game. And it's available. You have to get it online, probably through Baiyi from Tsutaya. And it's going to be released in September. They're taking orders already. If you had the images, that would be great. So there are some really, old, like original Godzilla Karuta.
Oh, I love that.
I think, was it Mike? That maybe it was Sean that mentioned. I think it was $1,300 for like the one in the top corner. If you have with all the cards. The one at the bottom I got last year sometime, but they have a new one that is pretty awesome. I mean, if you like paper items, you like print items, and you like card games, and if you're studying Japanese, and I think most Godzilla fans will like to at least know some Japanese, at least hiragana, katakana. This is a great way to learn into Japanese. So these card games this card game Karuta is a traditional card game. It's played usually during New Year's by all ages. There's 2 sets of cards, one for a reader and one set for grabbing. And as the ones, person's reading, if you can match the card with the card you grab, you build up points. Person with the most cards at the end wins. And so this new one, what's awesome about it, it's a roaring set. It comes with a CD with 46 roars for the 46 Toho kaiju that are in it, from Godzilla and all the rest. Can you advance to the next photo for me, Colin? Yeah. So that's a sample of it. And on YouTube, they actually have a sample of the audio. And there is a famous voice actor, Kenichi Suzumura, who's, I think, doing some reading of the cards as well. So you can work on listening to Japanese as well as reading and having some fun. I think the cards are beautiful too, by the way. They're very desaturated, but they look pretty good. Now the set, it's about $60, and you can order it through Baiyi Japan. You have to order it online. You kind of have to use their special system where they go and buy it for you. And I'm going to hopefully get an order in next week. But that's my one news item.
That's freaking awesome. The roar aspect of it is so cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a roar for us? Anybody?
Kyle, I included a video, the YouTube video. I don't know if the audio will come through, and I don't know if it will be difficult to play.
Oh, is that in the text message? The text? Yes.
It's, I added it right before the show, and I meant to mention it to you.
Yeah, no problem. Just spitball for a second while I get it loaded.
I know Leslie wants to do a roar for us. How about a Gabra? See, I put him on the spot. Mm-hmm.
You can do it too. Here you go.
That's what I was waiting
I
for.
love it. This clip goes by really fast. It's like what, 13 seconds. It's like you just get it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
足音を響かせゴジラがやってくる。
You don't know my mama.
So, Suzumura-san read that card, so which is pretty cool. You know,
I need that set. That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, for all the for 46 roars, that's pretty dope. That's worth it. So go out there and get yourself a karuta. And get
Karuta. We might hear a little bit about Karuta later on as well.
Oh, cool! And if you're on Bayou, you can find some of the older ones as well. You know, very nice set of cards. You can get some of them are pretty old, but you can from time to time find those that are not too worn.
Right on, man. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I guess that means it's time for me to move on to the legit news item that I am going to be covering. And if you guys will bear with me, I'm going to give you guys a little presentation here, because if you haven't noticed, I love Yokai. We're going to hear from some really cool people right after this news segment for the next segment that we're doing on Yokai. But let's talk about some cool news coming out. If you are not aware, for me, my love started with the 60s films. That includes Yokai Hyaku Monogatari. Oh my gosh, I'm doing a terrible job. What I should say is 100 Monsters, Spook Warfare, and Along with Ghosts. I was introduced to these movies before they were available subtitled, and I absolutely adore them. There is also another Yokai film that fits within this franchise, made in 2005, called The Great Yokai War by crazy cool director Takashi Miike. These films were made available to us through ADV Films on DVD when they were first making DVDs, but unfortunately they are long out of print. Thankfully, it's time to take to the streets and celebrate, parade down the walks like the Yokai did in the ancient times, because Arrow Video is releasing, my friends, the Yokai Monsters collection of Blu-rays, and I could not be more excited for this. I'm just going to breeze through some of this stuff real quick because I've got a special presentation as well. More special than this, if you can believe it. The film includes all four films. Sorry, the set includes all four films, including the Takashi Miike film. It includes a 60-page collector's book and not commentaries on everything, but definitely like some essays and fantastic, cool artwork. Disc one is the 100 Monsters, which is Yokai Hyaku Monogatari. It's the first in the trilogy. And actually, I'm just going to go right past it. Oh, wait, no, hang on. There's one thing to say. It's got interviews with Yokai experts, Matt Alt, Zach Davison, Kim Newman, Linda E. Rucker, and Hiroko Yoda. Some of those people have been on Kaiju Cast productions in the past, including today's show. Disc 2 includes Spook Warfare and Along with Ghosts. And Disc 3 is The Great Yokai War. You can read all this stuff on the Arrow Video website. And there's one more feature that I want to say. They hired an illustrator named Julian Yates, who illustrated the artwork for this. And it's very, very, very cool. I got to see some super high res stuff from him. And it's just gorgeous work. But if for some reason you're like, oh, I wish I didn't have the artwork on the actual disc cases, you can, of course, flip around those to get the original poster art on them. I'm super happy about this. I really do I love Yokai, and you will see a little bit more of that as we continue this crazy cool thing that we're doing. But what I have here it is in the news, and I have not only just covered this on my own, I spoke with Julian Yates about this, and so let's hear from him. did you get involved with Arrow Video and specifically with this production of the Yokai set?
That was because of Matt Frank. He'd seen the Gamma anatomy pictures I'd done for the Shout Factory release.
Like on your shirt?
Yeah, which August Dragone had commissioned me to do back in the day. So he kind of he brought me into the Gamma set, and I updated those and added on the newer monsters. And then then Arrow liked what I did for that, so brought me back for the Yokai set.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about your contributions to this set?
Well, I did all the artwork, and Matt Frank did the lettering. I wanted to show all the trilogy monsters and have them doing a parade like in the older scrolls. So we went through various roughs, and I think they went with the earliest ideas. And so, yeah, basically I did all the Yokai as separate elements so that we could rearrange them for the different formats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's really fun to do.
Awesome. And so the Yokai, the Japanese ghosts and goblins, they are weird and creepy looking. And I'm just kind of wondering, while you were working on this project, did any of those specific like crazy designs like reach out to you, speak to you in some way?
I love the Karakasa Obake. I've always liked that one a lot since I saw the original trilogy. And I really like the Yuki Onna. I think she's my favorite yokai, the one I'd want to hang out with.
Hanging out with the Snow Witch. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd be loyal to her and not like the guy in the story.
You definitely have to play your cool with the Snow Witch. Okay, so you have not seen the completed set yet, and first up, thank you for sending us all the awesome artwork that you did for the set. It's unbelievably cool. And I'm just wondering, what is your number one thing you're looking forward to seeing in physical form, or at least hearing about from the fans? Like, what is the yokai-est, the coolest yokai thing you created for this set?
I like the we did a fold out of a ghost parade. I'll give you a quick look. The idea was we've got a couple of essays by Stuart Galbraith the fourth and myself, and I thought if we did the essays on one side of a fold out, then we could do a ghost parade down the other. But the essays and other text is too long for that, so we've got a booklet for the text, and then we're doing a special fold out with the ghosts on parade from the trilogy, and captions showing what one of them is and what the names mean, and then on the back we've got the same thing but without the text.
Fantastic. Well, I cannot wait to get this in my own hands. I'm really looking forward to it. I think I maybe mentioned this to you. I know I mentioned it to James from Arrow. It was the first productive thing I did that day that they announced it was to pre-order the set. And I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. And really, all the contributions that everyone made seem really awesome.
Yes.
And specifically, like I can't wait to dive right headfirst into this. I feel like I know a bunch of the people that were contributing, and I'm very happy that it just looks so phenomenal. You did a fantastic job.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for talking with us a little bit about your involvement in this set. Can you tell people how to get in touch with you or how to find you online?
I'm on Facebook, and my website is jolienbyates.com.
All right, man. Thank you very much. And watch out for those spooks and goblins out there.
All right. With my sketchbook in hand.
Excellent. And there you have it.
Love it. Love it.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Arrow did a killer job with the Gamera set, and I remember when we were talking with some people at Arrow. And also shout out to James Flower and Matt Frank for sort of passing me to Jolien, who of course clearly did a ton of work. But I've loved what they've been doing for those two properties, Gamera and Daimajin, and I'm really looking forward to seeing having that in my hands. It's going to be a great set.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
All right, there you have it. There's our news. Like, sorry it was so weird, but I don't know how to blast doing it. And I'm actually, these little interstitial interviews with people are great. The Jolien one was everything we talked about. There will not be an extended version of that one, but definitely, like for David's interview with Peter, you got to check that out. There's way more that they went into. Way more than they went into.
A little bit way more, yeah. Sorry,
but it's all good. I love that.
Way
I mean, I don't. When I'm sitting in like watching you guys talk or watching people talk, like it has to be. There has to be a reason for me to stop and be like, wait, you need to do this or do that. You know, if it's a good conversation, that's the kind of conversation people are going to want to watch. So that's why we'll include these in the YouTube channel on their own as their own videos. A little more palatable for people who are watching live, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you guys all for watching live and sticking with us through those interviews. There's more to come.